How do you keep the creative integrity at a time when maybe the brand owner is trying to push you to incorporate their brand message in a way that you don't feel
Well,
comfortable?
there's a key difference between a rock band and an ad agency in that we don't, we're only working on the projects that we want to work on. And if it's bad for our brand, it's way worse for yours. Like an ad agency, at the end of the day, their client is really their boss. Like, if they want to make something crappy, you have to make something crappy for them. But we haven't taken the check until we've agreed on the idea. So once, if we can negotiate an idea that we want to make and they want to make, then we're good. Brand messages tend to be, in the sort of 20th century model, tend to be very, very specific. We have one logo, we have one tagline, we have one thing we're going after, and this is what we have to stand for. People don't live their lives that way or consume things that way. The data points we get on brands or on other humans are they come at you from all sides. And so a brand doesn't need to mean the same thing in every circumstance and the same thing to all people. So the best projects we have done with brand cooperation are things where we're allowed to make something that we would be making, but we use something from their world. So it's not just about your company looks this one way. It's like this is what OK Go would do with your company, and vice versa. I think they get this. OK Go winds up having many different facets too.
And I think exactly the same is true for the brand, that the brand succeeds when it looks authentic in the piece. It doesn't succeed when suddenly there's this weird plot jog and an inside of a car interior appears out of nowhere, or the actor spends most of his time talking about the phone, not talking into it. People know that, they see through it. Or when the Coke can is 3 times as large as it should be because it needs to show, none of that really works. If you look authentic in the content and the content is compelling, then it works for everybody.
And respect for the audience, presumably. I mean, we're good at spotting these things now, aren't we?
You really need to respect your audience because they are your distribution. I mean, that's one of the big mistakes of media today is that people still think they can tell you what, they can put it in your mind. Here's our message, you have to hear it, you have to listen to it, you have to believe it. The way our stuff gets passed around the world is from human to human. Yes, it's social media, but to me that seems too limiting. That like the way we learn everything now is through our friends and through our network of people we've chosen to learn from. So if you know that your audience is only going to pass things around that they like and that show them off in a good way, it's not just respect for them. It's like you have to give them something they really love.
It's much more cost effective, presumably, as well, if you get the buy-in from the consumer who shares it.
Yeah, because then it becomes more about ideas. Content then becomes about ideas and sharing ideas, as opposed to it's a massive platform and therefore it's okay. The way you can coast and you don't have to do great things. So I think it's certainly more challenging on the creative side because you have to come up, for people to share something, they have to really like it because it says something about them. It's like, I have taste, therefore I'm giving it to you to prove that I have taste. If it's not good, they're not going to share it. So I think the onus suddenly becomes a lot more on the creative to deliver striking, original, risk-taking, creative, whatever it is, whether it's TV or music videos, that challenges the status quo, as opposed to just, well, we did this, it's another music video on a battleship because the last one sold well.
Thank you. I just wanted to wrap up by asking you both what you're working on now, what's coming up that will bring some of these themes to life.
OK Go is developing a couple TV shows, which we're excited about, and we have a tour of Asia in July, and new music hopefully early next year.
So the TV show's about the band, or?
No, there's one game show in development and one episodic sort of reality, sort of not reality show, of hyper real magical reality show.
Okay, and they involve brands, or?
Don't know yet. Neither of them involve brands yet, but they might along the way.
Depends how you get on the suite, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, OK Go's trajectory is a really weird one, and that's how we like it. So like, we're kind of always heading towards a long-term goal, but also very open to weird projects that come up as they do. And that's one of the best things about this week is that there's so many people here who want to do really weird projects, and we really like doing really weird projects.
Fantastic. And Ted, what's
For us, it's really about, we have an awful lot of brand demand. As you can imagine, people want to be in the content and they want to be in successful content. So for us, it's about finding that content, doing more content deals around the world, and satisfying that brand demand.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much. Hope you have a really successful week.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks.
your time.